Kia ora everybody. So I'm just going to do a watch party, which I'm all organised in. Holy hecka, you better all be able to hear me tonight because I feel like I've got it all ready. But having said that, that's what I've thought the last forever. And I am. Said that. What? How did I do that again? I did this last week and it was really difficult to sort of that. Oh man. Is anybody watching yet? Because if not, I'm going to stop and start it again. Who's that? I think maybe I need to go back to my my TV's telling me that I can watch Avatar. Do you guys know what Avatar is? Oh my gosh, can you let the dog in, please, Ethan? Is anybody there? Anybody there yet? You can type a message and tell me that you are. That would be really cool. Anybody there? Anybody there yet? I tried to turn that noise up. Okay, so I don't want to go share. Because if I share it, that's not the right thing to do, is it? Anyway, I'm going to be talking tonight about restoration, and I'm really going to try and figure out how to do this. I did it last week, so why can't I do it now? Nope. See, if I don't do this, then like most people talk to me on this. Oh well, I might just have to go live at the same time. Yep, there it is. Nope, there it is. That's going to have to do. Okay, so what I have done is I have gone live on my own page and also on the church page. Stop that. Okay, so I'm going to talk tonight about restoration because we have got a restoration service coming up soon at church. Yeah, we've got a restoration service coming up at church, and that's going to be on the 23rd of August. So last year on Roger's, the anniversary of Roger's death, we did a come back to church Sunday, and that was really good, and we really enjoyed the response, and it was great to be able to remember Rog. And so we wanted to do something again this year. And last year it was quite a bit about Rog, but it's not going to be about Rog this year. It's 2 years. But we're kind of doing it because we know that's what he would want, you know. And so we want to honour him in that way. Yeah, so if you want to come along to our Restoration Sunday service, it's on the 23rd. It's at 10 o'clock. So I just want to talk a little bit about what restoration is, because I think that if we understand it, then it might help us to seek it out. So restoration is to put or take something back to its original state. And I'm not gonna go into it in a big way tonight because hey Des, because that will happen at the service on the 23rd. But yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about restoration. I think a lot of what happens in churches these days is people get hurt. And look, I've been hurt in a church. And sometimes that's been me because I've maybe taken something the wrong way. Sometimes it's been, the way somebody's has reacted to me, maybe in a negative way. Hey, Roseanne. So restoration service, one of the things we want to do is invite people back to our church who've maybe been hurt, not necessarily just by somebody at our church, but maybe by church in general. And look, a lot of people have stopped going to church, especially people my age, believe it or not. And I'm not going to tell you what that is. But yeah, people get hurt and then leave the church. Another reason for that, sorry, I've got hay fever, is that people often stay at church until their kids grow up and then leave, and then they leave as well. So our restoration service will be about being restored back to the church. It doesn't have to be our church. You can come back and see us, or you can go to another church. But we want to be able to walk life's journey with you. So the thing is, hurt often needs to be restored. And if you're in a relationship with somebody, whether that is a husband, wife, parent, child, brother, sister, friend, aunt, niece, uncle, nephew, grandparent, grandchild, boss, an employee, neighbours, anything. Honestly, any relationship can cause you hurt. And so if you are in a relationship and you get hurt, then the very best thing is for your relationship to be restored. Remember, it says to put or take something back to its original state. Now, I know that that's not always possible. Sometimes the hurt is abuse, and that relationship does not need to be restored. You have to protect yourself from harm in any way. But I think I talked about this last week, or maybe the week before. We live in this throwaway society where we throw our relationships away. We don't work on them. And there's this kind of new catchphrase that was a toxic relationship, and so I'm going to walk away from it. When often it's actually not toxic. There's just been some hurt involved, and the relationship needs to be restored. So I'm just going to quickly talk about what restoration might look like. And again, I'm not going to go into it in a big way because I'll do more of that at our service. So I think restoration would look like forgiveness, because if you've been hurt, then forgiveness is probably the first step. And I think I'm actually about to do a webinar which started at 7:30. So when I get off here, that's terrible hay fever. When I get off here, I'm going to do a webinar on forgiveness. The thing about forgiveness is people think that forgiveness is trust. It's not. So if you're forgiving somebody, doesn't mean that you trust them. But forgiveness is like an ointment that you take that helps you to feel better, not the other person who maybe has hurt you. Let's talk about it in that way. And I think Roger used to say, unforgiveness is the poison we drink hoping to hurt somebody else. So forgiveness is a big part of restoration, because if you have unforgiveness, it turns into bitterness, and that bitterness in a relationship is when things get toxic, probably. Restoration will also look like redeveloping trust, and again, if you've been abused by somebody, then I'm not talking about that kind of relationship. But if you've been hurt by somebody, then you do have to develop trust. And then I think for a relationship to be really restored, you need God. You need God to be part of that. And it's about it needs two people as well, of course. So both of you need to be on board to do that, and then God can come in, and it's like He kind of comes in and fills all the cracks in, and if you have a jar and you fill it with stones and it's full, you can then still pour water into it, and that's a little bit like what God does in our relationships. He fills in the cracks, and He makes us better, not bitter, and He is the ultimate in forgiving. He forgives us, and so that's where we're aiming for our restoration service. So I want to encourage you to come along. If you're talking to somebody and they're talking about being hurt or getting out of a toxic relationship, I want to encourage you to invite them to come. Doesn't mean that they have to come to our church all the time, but maybe there might be just something that we can talk about on that day that will help. So it's great to be able to do this Westie Wednesday, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure that my titles are changed. So I will be back again next Wednesday, hopefully right on 7:30. So ka kite anō, aroha nui, love you all.